Welcome to EASTBAY Church of Religious Science, where spirit abounds, love overflows, and spiritual transformation begins. Welcome home.
Lord bless you and keep you, make His face shine upon you and give gracious to you. The Lord turns His face toward you and give you peace. Give you peace. Amen. Amen. how good it is to know we have God's favor. How good it is to know Spirit gives us peace. So right here and right now, I know that there's only one life. That life is God. That life is whole, it's perfect and complete. And it's my life. It's the life of everyone who can hear the sound of my voice. So I'm affirming and knowing today that this is a good God day. It can be nothing else. So I claim that for myself and I claim that for you. I'm sending out a word of healing and hope for the families in Florida. Knowing that although that building collapsed, God is still present. And we know that Spirit moves through healing, revealing, and calling forth what is. I bless our service today. I know that it's complete in the mind of God. I know the music is perfect harmony and healing. I know the word spoken allows us to live our soul's freedom, claim our freedom. Our tech team, is, as always, is on point, and I bless them for showing up every day. And I'm grateful for those who are in the room today. What a blessing to connect with others who we haven't seen before. And I'm giving thanks for all who are watching virtually, knowing that you're with us in spirit. With that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for what is and what is yet to be, and allow this to be, and so it is.
Amen. 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 May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children.
May God's presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. God is with you. God is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going and your weeping and rejoicing. God is for you. 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 Yeah.
Amen. 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 The Lord bless you and keep you.
The Lord bless you and keep you. His favor shines before you. You're coming and you're going. I just don't know how much better it can get than that. Knowing that we're always guided, guarded, and protected. Always. So good morning, East Bay family. Welcome to the fourth Sunday in June. You believe it? And welcome to our guests in the room, Reverend Anthony, Kimberly Satterfield, Manuel, and Lynn Mendoza. thank you for being here. Lola in the back. So it's wonderful. And I'm here to tell you, get ready. We're getting ready to open back up. Starting next month, you'll hear a little bit about that later, but I just want to let you know how good it feels to have some more people with us. It's been just us for a while. So it's great to have more people in the room with us. So thank you for being here. And with that, we'll go to our sacred covenant.
There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for our beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of our new ministry is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new ministry is a revelation of God and love as love. I further know that my new ministry is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written. True love has the power to heal and transform any situation that brings deep meaning to our lives. Love is patient. Love is kind. It always honors, always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails.
As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as a beacon of light, growing us with love and wisdom. Knowing that I and my beloved community must become that which we intend to bring forth and express in our new minister. I now know these truths about myself. I am inspiring, uplifting, and activating our community to live in harmony with all life. I am igniting individual and collective energetic movement towards spiritual truth and freedom. I am modeling and supporting profound levels of connection, healing, revealing, and growth in myself and community. I am cultivating an environment in which social justice and care for the needs of our greater community is part of our culture. I am engaging in mystical teachings and practices that support deep personal and collective transformation and connection to oneness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new ministry into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful, God is gracious, and so it is. Amen.
I want to welcome our first-time visitors to East Bay. If you're visiting with us for the first time, you can introduce yourself through the chat. If you want to connect with us afterwards, just push in #visitors, all caps, as well as you can visit our guest book. All of this information is in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, and we welcome you. And for those who haven't been around for a while, we welcome you back. It feels so good. I just can't say it enough. It feels really good to see other people. I have a few announcements I want to share today briefly, and then we'll carry on with the service. So just a quick heads up, you're probably wondering, where's Precious? Where's Precious? Precious' grandmother is turning 100. She's in Atlanta, and they're doing this massive celebration, so she'll be back next week. So you have me today. So today after service, I want to invite everybody to our community conversations. We're talking about some important actions that are happening in the church. Good stuff, all good stuff. One, we'll talk about the reopening and where you fit into that and how you fit into coming back. We'll also talk about where we are with the process of our next senior leader within East Bay, and then we'll talk about a little bit of finance around the church. All good stuff, but we want you to be a part of it because we want to hear your voice. I would love it if everyone said, I'm with you, or not saying, I don't know what you're talking about. So be one of those, I'm with you. and not know what we're talking about. So we invite you to join us this afternoon at 12:30, and you can get that information online at our website, EBCRS.org. Wednesday night service, we have guest speaker Bathsheba Harambe coming to us on our Wednesday night service. So that starts at 6:15. We invite everyone to join via Zoom and experience Bathsheba. Those who don't know, she's amazing. All facets of her are amazing, so I invite you to come and join that at 6:30. Summer classes are still in progress or starting. So Essential Earnest, which is being led by Reverend Gil Olmsted, is Thursday night at 6 o'clock. He had his first class last week, but there's still time to join this Thursday, so I invite you, for those who want to get to learn more about Ernest Holmes. Other classes coming up is Spiritual Economics, the one that I'm leading on Thursday night as well. We're doing a little different model this time. It's a drop-in, so there will be 8 weeks of workshops, if you will. So check out the website, and there's something that may resonate with you. You're welcome to join. We talk about prosperity, your relationship with God, your relationship with money, all of those things that are important right now as we come out of this pandemic. So I invite you to join any night that you want to. Just go to the website, pick your day, or pick them all, and you're welcome to be there. This is a certificated class, so if you want the certificate, I encourage you to attend 6 of the 8 weeks. Other than that, just drop in, check out, see what's going on, meet some new people. No pressure, just be there. And this is our way of reconnecting after the pandemic, so I invite you to join us there. And that's all I have for today. I'll now turn it over to the music minister, Streets, singers. A little tie-tongue today. I'm too excited. And we're going to do a Woke Up This Morning.
I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I just woke up this morning with my mind. My mind is stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. My mind stayed on spirit. All day long I keep my mind stayed on spirit. All day long I keep my mind. My mind is stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. My mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Yes, I am walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, God. Hallelujah, praise God. With my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, praise God. Hallelujah, yes, God. Hallelujah. Praise God. Praise God.
Walking and talking with my mind, stayed on spirit. It feels so good. It feels so good. So I want to introduce our speaker who has a recorded message for us today. I haven't met her, but I feel connected to her. And I don't know if you ever had that feeling where just the words and the energy, even from the email, it's just like this connection that has happened with meeting Dr. Victoria Bomberry. She's a Minister of Transformation at the Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. This position was created for her because of the work that she does in the world. So imagine having something created just for you, but we knew it was already there. She studied at Holmes and has her Master's of Ministerial Studies and also received her PhD in Modern Thought from Stanford University. So that tells you a little bit about where she is in her life. What I appreciated about learning about her passion for transforming the world through service. And you'll hear a little bit about that in her message today. And I just thought, what a passion to have, transforming the world through giving back, through service. It's what we do here. And it's an easy thing to do. So as she talks today, I will encourage us to embody her passion. So without further ado, we're going to hear from Reverend Bomberry, but we're going to hear from me. I have a moment here. This is Pride Month, it's Juneteenth month, it's all these celebrations of freedom, etc. And I wanted to talk about the freedom that I have here at East Bay. The freedom to be myself. A woman of color, same gender-loving woman of color, all the things that could be against me are so much for me. So much for me, so much for me. So I thought I'd share with you the different transitions we've had with our pride flag, the all phases. But I want to talk about the colors, which I don't know if you knew. So it started with just the rainbow color. Everybody saw the rainbow flag. You see the rainbow flags in here. So the color of pink is for sex. The color of red is for life. The color of orange is healing. The color of yellow is sunlight. Green is for nature. Turquoise is for art. The indigo color is harmony. And the violet color is spirit. Does that kind of remind you of something? Something we listen to every Sunday, just about? So we take it up a little bit higher, and this is called a progression. So this year, with all the things that are going on in the world, black and brown were included to recognize the marginalized people of color. And then the trans colors, the blue and pink, are to represent the trans individuals. And then the white color represents the people who are living with or have died from AIDS. So when we talk about oneness, here it is, right here. And now you know what those colors mean. And everyone in this room, I bet, can identify with one. And everyone who's out in the world can identify with at least one of those colors. So it's important for us to not only have Pride Month, but Pride every day. No matter who you are or where you are, have pride. And in that pride, we want to stand up for each other, stand with each other. So if someone along the way seems to be falling back or feeling less than, it's up to us to stand up and move them forward to that next greater, higher plane, the place that we are and we know about. Something's calling for freedom, it's us. And we can help whomever, wherever they are, person on the street, your neighbor, your children, anyone in your family. Freedom, pride is every day. So we stand up to know that. We stand up knowing that truth. We stand up with that. So I present to you NuDay, Stand Up.
Umeya, 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 umeya. I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulder won't stop till the work is done. Well, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can. while I care for my people.
While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up. Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on.
I can feel it in my bones.
May I, ooh,
May I,
ooh,
may I.
early in the morning, when the sun begins to shine, gonna keep moving toward that separated line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I got a made up mind, made up mind. And I don't if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I've got until I die. That's when I'm gonna stand up. Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I've tried. Sure as stars fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on.
I can feel it in my bones.
May I, ooh, may I, ooh, may I,
Sing it with us.
ooh, may I, 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 ooh, I'll go to prepare a place for you. I'll go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go
morning, all of you who are here with us at the EASTBAY Church of Religious Science. My name is Reverend Victoria Bomberry, and I am an enrolled member of the Muskogee Creek Nation of Oklahoma and the Minister of Transformation at the Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I am also the spiritual director of a fledgling focus ministry called Wings Spirit that is currently in the process of affiliating with Centers for Spiritual Living. And right now, I want to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Ohlone people. And I pledge to support them as they assert their right to self-determination and freedom. There are people in the sanctuary today, people connecting online as I am. And I know there are people who are just tuning in to the high vibrational frequency and energy of the one mind that we are transmitting today, just by coming together. That's what's going on. We are celebrating Pride Month, and I hope that as we shine the spotlight on this incredibly diverse, courageous community, that we carry pride with us all year long. I acknowledge all of our brave relatives. And when I say relatives, I'm including all of humanity as our relatives and all beings as our relatives. And this extension, this amplitude, as we recognize our relatedness to one another, does change the way that we think about one another, the way that we interact with one another. I want you to know that there are people within the Pride community that have been incredibly courageous for many years, who have done the work of multitudes and multitudes to bring us to the point that we're at right now. And I want to acknowledge the courageous transgender people who rebelled against oppression in New York at Stonewall. They were rebelling against the oppression of the LGBT community, their inability to gather peacefully, to enjoy one another's company, to have that connection of a community that supported and loved them. And that happened about 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago now. Although their action was local, it sparked a tidal wave of activism globally that is on the leading edge of the evolution of our knowledge of what it means to fully express our humanity in the world. I'm speaking two of the trans leaders' names today, and there are many more, to remember and honor their courage and vision. Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. And now I invite you to speak the names of your loved ones and those that you admire now into this beautiful community of love that we are all a part of. We have countless activists and community workers in our communities right here in California who are dedicated to ensuring that LGBTQIA people are able to live authentically and to be free to be who they are. So let's pause for a few seconds as we speak those names into this room. And you can close your eyes, and you might want to touch your heart as you do this. And let's say together, we accompany and support you on your soul's journey. This month, we are focusing on the soul's call. The title of today's talk is The Soul's Call to Freedom. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." I've been repeating this quote throughout the month. It reminds me that yes, I am called to go within, to awaken to my soul's highest good. And this is something that's ongoing. I repeat that, and I'm so glad we're reminded of this quote for this month. The quote is made even more meaningful when placed with the words of Ernest Holmes. As the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. This is in line with the teaching that everyone is from within out. When the soul knows freedom, the law will free the body, and the outer life will express health, happiness, and success. All things worked for our good. And I'm going to repeat that one line one more time. All things work for our good. Holmes goes on to say, even that which we call evil is salutary, leading us to the way, the truth, and the life. Suffering should teach us a lesson which would cause us to refrain from making more mistakes. It carries a blessing with it when we learn how to garner knowledge from experience. We are on a spiritual journey that is a spiral that affords us the opportunity to gain knowledge at a certain level of spiritual maturity. And as we mature spiritually, that knowledge is transformed into action and wisdom. Knowledge to wisdom. And it's active. It's an active thing. We move through the spiral at the rate at which we are willing to walk the spiritual path. Spiritual maturity has nothing to do with age, with chronological age in this incarnation. It has to do with our willingness to be open to the truth. We may meet the same things on the spiral many times over, deepening our knowledge until wisdom is ours. It is an evolutionary process. In the evolutionary process of human self-realization, our soul's call is to live an authentic life, to live freely. For most of us, this means that we are free to express ourselves fully, which requires us to come to know ourselves in order to ultimately live from a position of surrendering to the divine, surrendering that small self to the divine. The word evolution has evolved over the years. I feel drawn to an older meaning that captures our part in the process. And this older meaning is defined as this: an opening of what was rolled up. And that comes from the Latin. And it is an active verb as well. It's unrolling, as unrolling a book. And if you remember, books used to be rolled up, and in some cultures, books still are kept in those scrolls. So just imagine the unfurling of this book. The definition is in line with science of mind principles of the perfection of the human being and all life. It is already written in its divine perfection. All that has to occur is the opening of that which is rolled up inside of us. This is the inward journey that leads to the unfurling of the soul. Just like the fiddlehead fern, and you've all seen a fiddlehead fern that's all rolled up, unfolds as it reaches for the light and its ultimate expression. We too seek the light and the unfolding of our true selves. Charles Darwin of evolution is descent with modification. which I want to add here because each soul has its unique unfoldment that can be modified by our dedication of reaching our highest potentiality. As we come to know our oneness with divinity, we apply the qualities of the divine that lead to our unique unfoldment. When the soul knows freedom, we are free to do this. Nothing can stand in the way of our unique expression of God. And descent with modification. As we learn more about how we are affected by the things that go into the human shared consciousness and how they affect us, and even how we're affected by the conditions of our respective communities, communal experiences, we can see that this descent with modification becomes even more important because we can become aware of it and actually change and modify the lives of our descendants. And that's a powerful, powerful thing to think about. I often think about all the things that my ancestors did to ensure that I am here right now. All of the things that had to go in to this creation of this moment that I have to unfurl my own soul and my own story. Freedom, freedom. This is the soul's call. As an Indigenous woman, I have yearned for the freedom to exist, to simply exist. That's a baseline existence. And work that many of us in this room and those of us who are watching from home, we engaged in these projects of asserting our right to exist. When we were young people, that was something that was present so strongly. And, we can look at all the various movements, liberation movements that came out of a particular moment when those of us who are of a certain age were coming of age and into our adulthood. Now, I know that this project of asserting our right to exist took years of inner excavation, of those things that we want to carry into the future. And if we look at the Ohlone, for example, that I acknowledged at the beginning of this talk, they have engaged in this inner excavation and chosen those things that they want to carry into the future. Not just the right to exist, but the right to thrive with their unique gifts that they have to ensure their survival and thriving, and also to give to the world. The activists of the LGBT communities in those early years asserted their right to exist. Now they are opening the human story to include a much more ample vision of who and what it means to be human. We have to stay awake and keep our focus on our unfoldment. Now just imagine this unrolling taking place. Imagine that. James Baldwin writes, freedom is not something that anybody can be given. Freedom is something people take, and people are as free as they want to be. One hasn't got to have an enormous military machine in order to be unfree, when it's simpler to be asleep, when it's simpler to be apathetic, when it's simpler, in fact, not to want to be free, to think that something else is more important. And this is from Nobody Knows My Name. There are tremendous distractions that can get in the way, as Baldwin points out. The guns don't have to be pointed toward us if we do not accept the gift of freedom. As partners with the divine, we have the opportunity to explore freedom, to have it, to live it, and to also know that in the process of freeing ourselves, we reach certain levels and can at sometimes maybe get a little bit too comfortable with it, with right where we are at that moment. We think we've arrived and we forget that freedom, we lose track that freedom is a living thing that is itself unfolding. We live in an expanding universe. That's the good news. We can be as free as we want to be. It's there for us to explore. And we can be as free as our exploration of our soul's call to freedom takes us. And we all have it, right? We have that call to freedom. It's right there at the center of us. Last week, as I was preparing for this talk, I walked into an independent coffee shop. It was a neighborhood place with fresh baked goods, coffee roasting in the back, inside and outside seating where people were congregating. It was a lovely spot. It was a community spot, and there were all kinds of people there. As I waited for my coffee and bagel, I went toward the back where there was a large bookshelf with a sign that said Book Exchange. Now just think about that. We think about where we can see the divine in action all over the place. Just the simple act of sharing books and putting those into circulation, that knowledge and that wisdom that has been gleaned by certain people who've written it down. It was just there for the taking. It was there freely given. And I picked up this first book, this little thin volume, just kind of jumped into my hands. And I saw that it was Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. Although I have read quotes, a lot of quotes over the years, and recently, and they speak to me. I hadn't read the book since I was a teenager. And as I got older, I kind of left it behind. And I think I left it behind because I was looking for something that would bring that inner and outer work together. And it didn't seem to be present in my young reading of this book. Now, remember the young quote from beginning of this talk. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakens? Of course, we need to do both. We must do both if we are serious about freedom and creating a world that works for all beings. We have to dream and we have to go inside to awaken. So the dream is the manifestation of the highest idea of God. I want to read you a portion of what the prophet says about freedom. And as my heart bled within me, for you can only be free when even the desire of seeking freedom becomes a harness to you. And when you cease to speak of freedom as a goal and attainment. So in reality, what he's saying here is that there's not an endpoint to freedom, right? Freedom is more than that. And, that search for freedom in itself can become a harness. When it's too hardened, we have to allow it to reveal itself to us in every situation imaginable. And he goes on to say, you shall be free indeed when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief. Okay, this is a little bit confusing. I had to read this a couple of times, and let me unpack it a little bit. What he's saying is that we aren't looking necessarily, we're free when we can accept everything that life has to offer. We are free when we accept equally the cares, equally the wants, equally the grief, accepting life as it presents itself. And then he goes on to say, but rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them, naked and unbound. See this image that no matter what our circumstances, no matter what life presents, we are truly free when we rise above those circumstances, just completely naked and without any chains at all. That's freedom. And as we contemplate this, this is our soul's call to freedom, to experience life to the fullest, to know that life, it does have these experiences that we go through, and they are truly, truly the stuff that leads us to growth and to the spiritual maturity that we are all growing towards. Now, what does this mean? What am I talking about here? What are the main points of this talk? Well, the main points of this talk are be your authentic self. We have so many examples of people standing up to be their authentic self, to be in the truth of their being. Love everyone unconditionally. Allow that space for this freedom to roll over us, to roll in, to unfurl, to be that place that we support and love everyone through this process of maturing spiritually. That's what this talk is about. And answer that clarion call that is at the center of our soul to freedom. And I just know that as we move into this next stage of our evolution, that we are creating something truly magnificent that reveals the magnificent of every soul, that we are truly building a world that works for everyone. And so it is. Let's turn within. And you can keep your eyes open, or you can close your eyes as we turn within. And just taking that deep God breath, I recognize God as freedom, as divine intelligence and infinite wisdom, as that ever-creating force in an ever-expanding universe. And I am one with this, just as each and every person in this community is one with this, and beyond this community is one with this, that we are all a part of this creation, and we experience it to the point at which we allow it to be revealed. And I am knowing right now that freedom is ours. Freedom to live our authentic self is ours right now. Each individual not only has that right, but has that call deep within them to live their authentic life. And I am declaring that we support this in every possible way. At times, it is actually accompanying people next to them, arm in arm with them, shoulder to shoulder with them. And each person answers their particular call as it comes forward in their soul. And at times it is giving room and space so that these new to us, they're already written, things are revealed. And we gain deeper understanding of the workings of God. That is all perfection. And that we forgive our mistakes, that we have compassion for one another when we stray from the path, when we make an unkind or ignorant comment, that we step up and correct those mistakes. We lean into it. We acknowledge it and accept it and do the necessary corrections. And I am just grateful that everyone is joined here together in this beautiful, beautiful flow of good, flow of freedom. And I allow this to be. I release my word into the action of the law, knowing it will not return to me void. And so it is. Amen. Ashe.
Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
Breathe that in. Taking a moment for what we're standing for and standing up and who we're taking with us. Could that be your soul's call, your call to freedom? And for this idea, this intention, I say thank you. Thank you.
I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I'll go.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bomberry. Thank you, NuDay. It is now time for our gracious giving. time where we can give back to our community, who gives back to the community, gives back to the community. So this time I call forth our affirmation. Today I give fully, I give prayerfully, I give with thanksgiving. Today I give fully, prayerfully, and I give with thanksgiving. You'll see many ways to give on the screen, but I want to encourage you, it's summertime, and I know many of us are glad to get out and get away, to set up your reoccurring gift so that East Bay is taken care of while you're taking care of yourselves. So with that, NuDay, it's a little bit of bless me.
Bless me, bless me, oh Lord, bless me indeed, enlarge my territory, oh Lord, bless me indeed. I pray for increase. Bless me indeed. I pray for increase. Bless me indeed. I pray for increase.
So we give thanks for the gift and the giver and the divine intention of abundance and prosperity. We bless the gifts. We know that they go forward, sustaining, multiplying, expanding all that we need, because we know that all we need, we already have. And for this, I give thanks, and so it is.
So it is.
So again, thank you all for being here today. It's been a wonderful Sunday, seeing so many familiar faces and feeling the vibration through virtual service. I just want to acknowledge our team today. And we have a big list, so I want to read them off. For those who don't know, we have people virtually and we have people in the room. So first, we'll start with our production team. That includes JJ, Brett, Clifton with us today, and our social media moderator, Ty Frey. And you'll see the closing slides by Talia Taylor. Our team's expanding, so we're grateful for that. Our prayer room is open. In our prayer room today, we have Lynn Daniels, Kay Suzanne Massey, and Deborah Trusso. Please stop by the prayer room after the service. The information should be in the chat and available to you. Our virtual visual was held by Shawana Booker. Our virtual prayer box, Georgia Eagles. Our coordinator for the day was Sherry Greer. Our music ministry, Vanessa Wynn, Andrea Brimbury, Lisa Bayless, Daryl Thompson, NuDay,
Thank you.
and me. I never told anybody who I was. I'm Arlene King, and I'm so happy to be with you all again. Excitement took over today. But a reminder, do visit the prayer room. We have our after-service community connections. And let's just give thanks. Just give thanks for the blessing of this day and the moments to follow, knowing that God is good no matter what.
Yes.
And let us heed our soul's calling to freedom. Our soul's call to freedom. With that, I bless everyone as they go forward on their day, knowing that it's a spectacular day, and know that pride is every day.
Yes.
Every day we celebrate pride. And with that, I say amen, ashe, and so it is. And NuDay is going to tell us how to love ourselves.
Yes.
Good morning, East Bay family and friends.
Good morning.
This song is for all of you all out there. Get up and love yourself. Get on up and love yourself.
Yes, yes.
Always remember who you are.
Yeah.
If you want to be the one on the picture, first you got to meet him. Hello. Open up your eyes, it's time to realize now is the time to shine.
It's time to shine.
Brother, you're a goat and everybody knows you got it and it comes from your go. Sister, you're a star, even with your flaws, you're unstoppable. Can't nobody bring you down when you're high. You just got to learn to love yourself. And if you just believe that you're really all you need, you don't need nobody else. Yeah,
If you love yourself, if you love yourself,
you got to love yourself.
Yep, if you love yourself, if you love yourself, if you love yourself.
From sea to shining sea, we all can come together, make the world much better. Get up on your feet, we're dancing in the street, celebrating liberty.
Liberty.
Yes, we've come this far, we've got so far to go. So hold on, people, don't let go. And if you feel alone, just ease into this song. You're unstoppable. Can't nobody bring you down when you're high. You just got to learn to love yourself. And if you just believe that you're really all you need, you don't need nobody else.
If you love yourself,
You got to love yourself.
if you love yourself,
You got to love yourself.
yep, if you love yourself,
Love yourself.
love yourself,
Love yourself.
love yourself.
Let me hear you say, mirror, mirror on the wall.
Mirror, mirror on the wall,
Confidence unstoppable.
confidence unstoppable.
Self-love is the solution.
Self-love is the solution.
Join us on God's revolution.
Join us on
Let me hear you say revolution.
revolution,
Revolution.
revolution,
Revolution.
revolution.
Yeah. Love yourself. Hey, yeah. Love yourself. Love yourself.
Love
Yeah, love yourself. Gay Pride is every day. We celebrate. Happy, happy, happy day. The people say. Love yourself. Love yourself. Hey. Love yourself. Love yourself.